Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at bellisiofoods.com/careers.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
The City of Jackson's Visitors and Conventions Commission reminds us to shop locally. From our wide selection of national retail chains to our unique downtown shops, Jackson is a great place to spend the day. Catch an exhibit or grab some lunch or dinner from one of our national restaurant chains or local eateries. Spend the night in one of our national chain hotels. No matter what your plans, the City of Jackson and Jackson County in the rolling hills of Southern Ohio is a great way to spend the day. Just a friendly reminder from the City of Jackson Visitors and Conventions Commission.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Main Street TV. We are here with Pete Wilson, the editor of the Telegram, and he's going to give us some news today.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Dylan. And of course, we see that our girl Jennifer is missing. We will miss her, but we hope to have her back, later this week. But we will plunge forward with the news. I will say I didn't think it was a real busy weekend the way it worked out, but I turned out to be wrong when more things developed that I didn't anticipate. But that's the nature of the news. So we're going to go right into it, and we're going to start off, Dylan, with a very positive story that played itself out yesterday, as a matter of fact. So, it really is news. It's new. The Jackson High School competition cheerleaders, which through the years, in recent years, they've kind of made a name for themselves in regional and state competition. They've done very, very well. There's been several trips to Florida to participate in national competitions. Well, this year's version of the competition cheerleaders seem to be right in that same league. They can already call themselves state champions. Yesterday, the competition cheerleaders, which are composed of high school cheerleaders on the varsity, junior varsity, and freshman squads, not necessarily all of them, but most of them are on the competition cheer squad as well. They do special maneuvers and gymnastics and dances in these competitions. And there was a statewide competition yesterday sponsored by the Ohio High School Cheerleading and Dance Coaches Association, and it was held at Upper Arlington High School. That's a suburb just on the north side of Columbus there. And they were competing in Division III Game Day Building is what it's called. And in that event, they were fortunate enough to win first place in Division III, and there were other squads from all over the state. I'm not sure how many squads or where they were from, but it was a statewide competition. Okay, at the end of the afternoon, after they had all the divisions, and there were 5 divisions, Division I through Division V, the 5 divisional winners competed against each other, and the Jackson High School competition cheerleaders emerged as the overall champions, the grand champions in the entire state of Ohio. So congratulations to all those girls. Congratulations to the cheerleading coaches, Courtney Butcher and Tiffany Boggs. I was communicating with Courtney late last night, trying to set up getting information to be able to report this story. And I told her that, you guys know what you're doing, because it seems like every year, they do very well in regional and state and even national competition. And they are off to a great start this year. We have a number of pictures there, Dylan, if you want to roll those, and I'll continue to talk about the cheerleading a little bit.
Well, I'm going to have to run up to my desk real quick, but I'll go run those for you.
Okay, well, thank you. we do have some pictures from last night already, and we're going to be picking up some more information a little bit later. So Dylan is kind of scurrying between helping be a co-host and being the producer of the show. But when the team got back, when the squad got back in Jackson late yesterday evening, they got an escort into town. Here's a picture I took from Main and Broadway when the squad was coming back. The Jackson Police Department, the Jackson Fire Department, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, the State Highway Patrol, they were all involved. I think the Sheriff's Office met the caravan of cars out there on at Richmonddale and brought them into town, and they came into town, drove through the middle of town, and then on to the high school. But this wasn't a bus trip. This was a caravan of cars and SUVs and such of that, where parents and other adult volunteers were driving the girls. And this is a shot, I assume, just after the girls won the overall state championship. You can see how happy they are. They're hugging each other. It was a great moment of memory. I'm sure that they will never forget being state champions. One thing to be in the divisional champion, that was a thrill in of itself. But then you go on and compete against the very best of the best, and you come home with the big trophy. That is a very, very special indeed. But the girls. The girls, I think we have a photo of there we go. Thank you, Dylan. That's a photo of the girls posing. I'm guessing this may have been before the competition because, they got a trophy in front of them. This was at some point in the competition. I'm not sure whether it was at the end or in the middle, but they had already won one trophy. You can see them posing with the trophy there in front of them with the big J there. There is one of the members of the cheerleading competition squad showing both trophies, the divisional champion trophy and the grand champion overall champion trophy as well. It was just a great day all the way around for that team and the coaches and like that. And I tell you what, from covering athletics, we know that it's every team's goal, every team's dream to be able to make it to the state championship. It's another thing, totally another level, to win a state championship, and that is what our Jackson High School competition cheerleading squad did yesterday. So congratulations to them. I'm going to be meeting with the two cheerleading coaches, Courtney Butcher and Tiffany Boggs, a little bit later in the day, and we're going to be have an article, of course, in Wednesday's edition of the Telegram. Running some photos, publishing some photos, and also telling a little bit more details about this great success for one of our student groups. But once again, congratulations to them. We have one post on our Telegram Facebook page now that's got a picture of the squad. This was taken after they got back at Jackson High School, and it was out in front of the school. And in that picture are some of the agencies that brought them into town on that grand escort through town, some of the law enforcement and firefighters there. So it was really a community celebration, when any of our school groups does that well, and it certainly was last night. All right, the spotlight, and a positive spotlight is also shining on Wellston. And Dylan, if you can be ready, we're going to talk about the Ohilco Lights. The Ohilco Lights project, which is taking place, it's unfolding as we speak in Pride Park of Wellston. A lot of work has been done this past week, particularly this past weekend. Now, there are decorated Christmas tree displays in all our local communities, but the largest one is in Wellston at Pride Park, and it is done by the Wellston Ohilco Society. You can see the big sign there, Ohilco Lights. It actually is the first one to unfold in the county. Their big day is going to be next Saturday when they light the decorated trees. But the trees are now all up or mostly up there in Pride Park. They're next to the depot. And how it works is individuals, businesses, organizations, families buy these trees. The Ohilco Society secures them, puts them up, and then it's up to the purchasers to actually decorate the trees. Some of that was actually going on yesterday. There's other decorations There's other decorations in the park as well. This is a shot I took yesterday. And Tammy Phillips, who is the president of Make Wellston Beautiful, of course, she volunteers for lots of things in Wellston. And there she is, along with her husband, Randy, decorating the light poles there. There were a lot of members of the Ohilco Society that were also doing work in the park, decorating the flagpole. That is one of the focal points of Pride Park. And during this week, trees will be decorated. There is one of the trees that was actually decorated yesterday. That is a tree, a very special tree. It is in a very prime spot there at one of, kind of like in front of one of the lines of trees. It is a tree that the Ohilco Society dedicates to the late Stephanie Moon. Stephanie Moon died back in 2011, and she was a great volunteer, a great leader of the Ohilco Society, and particularly the work they did at the festival. The festival, of course, is now known as the Ohio Hill Country Festival. When Stephanie was involved in it, it was the Coal Festival, and she did so much for the festival, was one of the chaperones for the Queens, was doing just about everything there. They have never forgot her contributions, and this tree is dedicated in her memory. The Ohilco Society provides the tree, the prime spot, and then Stephanie's family, her surviving members of her family, decorate that tree every year. So you might look for that when you go up to look at all the trees in Wellston. But the big celebration when the trees are lighted there in Pride Park is going to take place next Saturday evening. The lights will go on, according to Dustin Kaufman, who's one of the main volunteer leaders there at the Ohilco Society. He and his wife, Lexi, as a matter of fact, are two of the main pillars there. Dustin says that the lights are going to go on at 7:30 p.m. It'll be a big anticipatory type thing because earlier that day and leading up to 7:30, that is when the celebration is going to take place, Wellston's big pre-Christmas celebration. That's Christmas Streets on Wellston Streets. And this is the first year that the Ohilco Society has taken over that celebration. It had been Wellston Main Street. Wellston Main Street is a smaller group in the Ohilco Society. They talked to the Ohilco Society about taking it over, feeling like, they needed to pass the baton to a larger group. The Ohilco Society had already shown they can put on, a big event in the Ohio Hill Country Festival. And of course, they're very community-minded volunteers as it is. And so the Ohilco Society was willing to take it over. And one of the things that they did, we can't, talk about this too much because it's a big change. Instead of the Christmas treats on Wellston Streets taking place on the first Saturday in December, which would be this year, Saturday, December 2nd, they moved it up a week to this Saturday, which is November 25th. And that will coincide with when they have lit the trees in past years. So it will all take place in one day. The only major pre-Christmas event that will not be on that day will be the Wellston Lions Club Christmas Parade. It will stay on its traditional date there at 1 p.m., I believe, on Saturday, December the 2nd. That's the Lions Club. So there are at least 110 decorated trees that are going to be part of the Ohilco Society's Ohilco Lights display. And the trees will be decorated by people throughout the week. They should all be decorated, of course, no later than next Saturday, because that's when the lights will go on. It's possible that there may be more trees that are added as well. The total will not get greater than 120. Right now, there could be possibly some trees that are available for sale. You just need to contact the Ohilco Society through its Facebook page to see if there is a late tree that may be available. That was kind of a possibility when I talked to the folks there at the scene yesterday. There are some trees that have not been put up yet, some trees that may come available for sale here in the next day or two. You just need to make a contact. No guarantee there, but it's a possibility. If you haven't got one, and you want to still try to get one, there still may be time. The other wonderful development, and this is such a great thing for Wellston's notoriety statewide, Grant Plummer, who is a Wellston resident, he's now a student at The Ohio State University, and Tammy Phillips, the aforementioned Tammy Phillips, they kind of joined forces to try to get Wellston some notoriety for its Ohilco Lights display statewide. The Ohio Department of Development has what they call the Holiday Lights Trail, and it lists top Christmas light displays all over the state. Well, guess what? Ohilco Lights is now on that list. There are 70 Christmas light displays. Remember, this is all over the state, 88 counties. Wellston is now on that list. So if you go to the website of the Ohio Department of Development and you click on the Ohio Holiday Lights Trail, it will have a map that has all these great Christmas light displays that are going to be available to see during the Christmas season. And on that map now is the Ohilco Society. So that is a real feather in their cap, and it's made possible, I understand, by the legwork of Grant Plummer and Tammy Phillips. But there are other Christmas light displays that are on that list in the area, but not all that many. Of course, you know, the lights down at the Gallipolis City Park, that's called Gallipolis and Lights. That's on the list. The lights at Dogwood Pass in nearby Beaver are on that list. Also, the Christmas light displays in Portsmouth, that's called the Winterfest Lights, and the Shine On display in Chillicothe. So, you know, in addition to seeing what we have in Wellston and elsewhere in this county, because there's Christmas tree displays that are also going to be in place a little later in Jackson, Oak Hill, and MacArthur, this is a chance to maybe even travel around the area and see some wonderful Christmas light displays. It puts everybody in a great spirit, and it is quite a spectacle. In Wednesday's edition of the Telegram, Jeremiah Shaver isn't here with me today. That's because I put a lot on him. I'm asking him to wrap up all the information for this Saturday's Wellston Christmas Treats on Wellston Street celebration, because it's much more than just the light display. There's other activities that will be going on starting at about 3 p.m., I understand, and going until the lights are put on for the first time at 7:30 p.m. So you can look for that coverage in our Saturday paper. If we have time a little bit later on here on Main Street TV, we'll tell you about some of the other Christmas things that are going on in our local area. Suffice it to say that the main celebrations locally, outside of what is happening in Wellston next Saturday, will take place the following Saturday, December 2nd. You're talking about activities in Jackson, Oak Hill, and MacArthur. It'll involve Christmas light displays in parks, and will also involve Christmas parades and, of course, visits by Santa Claus. All right, another positive thing happening in Wellston. It has nothing to do with Christmas, but it's almost like a Christmas present for the people who travel on Wellston streets, who live there and also use the Wellston streets. And that is the fact that a big paving project that is at the end of a major infrastructure project that affects two of Wellston's main thoroughfares, West Broadway Street and New York Avenue, those projects are about coming to an end. As a matter of fact, I was in Wellston yesterday and saw that West Broadway Street, which was pretty bumpy already, and on top of that, there was excavation going on the street because of the installation of new water and sewer lines along the street. That street now is paved, and it is beautiful. Of course, part of that street, it goes right into town, the main part of town, and it also serves as part of State Route 327. And then, of course, if you keep going the other direction on State Route 327, it's another way out of town to connect with State Route 93. A lot of people travel that way. Here is the newly paved West Broadway Street in Wellston, and it's much welcome because it was pretty bumpy there for a while because, you know, the street probably needed paved anyway, or at least part of the street, but then all the excavation work, putting in those new water and sewer lines and building new curbs, et cetera. It's been a long, long project, but it will certainly be one that will serve Wellston well for many years to come because of the new infrastructure improvements. Similar work was taking place on New York Avenue. When I was there yesterday, all the paving had not been done on New York Avenue, but I'm sure that it will be addressed this week there. And once again, there's new water and sewer lines there as well. Not just sanitary sewer, but storm sewer lines as well. I know at the last Wellston City Council meeting that I covered, Wellston Mayor Anthony Brenner and Service Director Stacy Camp was reporting on this, and this is a major, major advancement for the city of Wellston. It was a little bit of a disturbance there on those streets. A lot of people live on those streets. They travel on those streets. A lot of dust, a lot of digging, not only in the streets, but in yards as well. But it's all going to be worth it because, the infrastructure there in much of Wellston, like it is in a lot of small towns, was aging, was not working right. You had storm sewer going into the sanitary sewer. That's called infiltration. All those problems have been fixed by this major project that took place, mainly with grant funding. So, and this started well before the administration of Wellston Mayor Anthony Brenner, but he and Stacy Camp have been there to finish it, and congratulations to them. We'll be reporting more on that as well. But certainly the smooth streets there on West Broadway Street and New York Avenue, kind of like an early Christmas present for the folks in Wellston. Speaking of Wellston, there is going to be a special council meeting in Wellston on Tuesday evening. It's supposed to be at 6 p.m. We wanted to announce that on our various media platforms whenever there is a special meeting. We want the public to know, and of course the city officials do as well. The main reason for having this meeting, perhaps the only reason, is and it has to do with another grant possibility. Mayor Anthony Brenner wants to apply for a grant from the Ohio Water and Wastewater Infrastructure Grant Program, and this would help pay for capital improvements for the city's new water treatment plant. This is another big improvement project that's coming down the pike that's planned, a new water plant for Wellston that will serve the city for many years to come. It will replace the two water treatment plants, one by General Mills and one that is out on the Lake Alma Road, State Route 349. It will be just one water plant, but it will be a modern water plant, and it will be a major upgrade. And this grant will help pay for that project. And that project will take some time to do as well, but once again, it's in the works. And the reason that they're having the special meeting is to be able to apply for this grant. They have to do it by a certain deadline. They have to have legislation passed by council. And so they're having to have an extra meeting to try to get that done before the grant application deadline. All right. I tell you, it was a big moment at the Jackson County Board of Elections last Friday. Last Friday, when it was announced, when the results of the last general election were announced. Remember, on election night, those are unofficial results. They're incomplete. Not all the votes are there. They have to add late absentee votes and what they call provisional votes. It's usually not very many, but in a close race, it can make a difference. Well, there was a special angle on top of recounting all the votes and adding in those extra votes. In this official count, we were going to learn who the winners of two township trustee races were, where there were only write-in candidates involved. This is very weird. I've never had this happen before in my long reporting career. But in Bloomfield Township and Lick Township, the only candidates, 2 in Bloomfield Township, 3 in Lick Township, they were all write-in candidates. And this all came about because candidates who, I believe both of them were incumbents, who were running without opposition for re-election in the November general election, they had their candidate petitions invalidated for different defects, so they could not run. That left the door open for write-in candidates. So in Bloomfield Township, the 2 write-in candidates were Ryan Irwin and Edgar Conger. In Lick Township, the 3 write-in candidates were Travis Hughes, Steve Gilland, and Andrew Bobo. And the way it worked out, because the write-in candidates or the write-in votes had to be counted by hand, no names were actually on the ballot. That had to be done by hand, and the results were not known on election night, not even unofficially. So those candidates had to wait until, and everybody else, including us folks in the news media, had to wait until this last Friday when they did the official count. We're talking about the elections board and the elections staff did the hand count, plus they recounted all the votes that had been cast on election night. But the winners were, in Bloomfield Township, it was Ryan Irwin. He defeated Edgar Conger 92 votes to 62 votes. So Ryan Irwin, on a write-in candidacy, will be the new Bloomfield Township trustee. There are 3 trustees, and one of those seats was on the ballot this year. In Lick Township, the winner is Andrew Bobo. He got 114 votes. Travis Hughes got 54 votes, and Steve Gillen got 40 votes. So congratulations also to Andrew Bobo. He will become a new township trustee in Lick Township at the first of the year, and he won as a write-in candidate. There were 2 very close races in Jefferson Township that are worth mentioning. Now, both of these names were on the ballot. However, it was so close that the official count could have changed things. And in one case, it actually did. For Jefferson Township trustee, Harold Atkins Jr. actually pulled ahead of Daniel Parker in the race for trustee. Atkins had 418 votes. Parker had 415 votes. After the unofficial vote on election night, Parker was actually ahead of Atkins by 12 votes, 408 to 396. So the results changed. It may not be over, though, because the difference between Parker and Atkins are only 3 votes now. That qualifies for an automatic recount because it is within 0.5%, the margin of difference there between those 2 candidates. So there's going to be an automatic recount this Wednesday, November 26th, and they will recount all those votes in the Jefferson Township trustee race. Now, if it was done accurately, there's not going to be any change because there's not going to be any new votes added in, the way I understand it. All the votes were counted in the official count, but because it was so close, they want to make sure that it's right. By state law, there will be a recount this Wednesday. There'll be, for Jefferson Township fiscal officer, this was very close as well. The winner there was Jim Sloan, and he was against Kenneth Atkins Jr., and in that race, Jim Sloan actually lengthened his lead. It was very close as well, but he lengthened his lead, and he will remain as the Jefferson Township fiscal officer. And in this case, there will not be a recount. There will be a recount for a liquor option in the city of Wellston. Now, this involved just a small part of Wellston where the store is. The store is a convenience store, and the company is Jackson Petroleum. And the liquor option that was on the ballot in the November 7th general election, if it passed, it would allow the store to sell wine and mixed beverages on Sundays. Right now, that's something that they can't do. Well, as a result of the official count that was last Friday, it lost by a single vote. Yes, one single vote. 144 votes against the liquor option, 143 votes for the liquor option. In the unofficial count, the option lost by 2 votes. So it did gain 1. It's behind, though, by 1 vote. However, once again, that percentage difference is close enough. It's less than 0.5% that those votes will be recounted to on Wednesday. So we have 2 automatic recounts that will take place at 10 a.m. Wednesday at the Jackson County Board of Elections. One for the Jefferson Township trustee race between Daniel Parker and Harold Atkins Jr., and then the liquor option in Wellston for the store. All right, there was a big event held last Monday at the office. It was to welcome Pamamini Kosuplan as the new Senior Director of Operation at Bellisio Foods. And she is now in charge of the big Bellisio Foods plant in Jackson. And this event was held to allow Bellisio Foods, other community leaders, the Jackson County Economic Development Partnership folks, to welcome her to Jackson. And she will be taking the place of Mike Evans, who was the lead person before he retired earlier in the year. So welcome to her. We had a big story in a recent paper on her. I believe it was last Saturday. Alex Shope did a wonderful job on that. Kind of wrote a very detailed story what some of the folks said about her coming to Jackson, and also her thoughts about taking over the helm at our Bellisio Foods plant here in Jackson. It is, of course, our biggest employer in the city of Jackson, and along with General Mills, the largest in Jackson County. Here is the large number of folks, or at least some of them, that came out to welcome her. They're at the office commons. They're in that group photo there. And that is Pemini Kosuplin. I may have butchered that, but my Thai is not very good. She is from Thailand. That is her with Mike Evans there. She is on the left, and Mike Evans is on the right. Mike Evans was there, did a great job at the plant, a great front person for Bellisio Foods. He was on hand at that reception to welcome her as well. So a wonderful development for Bellisio Foods as they continue to be one of the major employers in Jackson County. All right, at the last meeting of the Jackson County Commissioners, Kevin Aston, who is the health commissioner for the Jackson County Health Department, was there, and he gave a couple of important updates that's worth passing on here on Main Street TV. He talked about the COVID-19 situation in Jackson County, and he also talked about the health department's plans to move to a new building. That's been in the works now for almost a year. Now, on the COVID-19 front, we talked about this on the air with Jennifer before. It's so weird. There really are a lot of COVID-19 cases, Dylan, that are still happening in Jackson County. You just don't hear as much about it.
Yeah, I did hear a few of my friends got COVID recently.
Right, and I think everybody who's out in the public knows of some folks who's got it. In some cases, just like in the past, it hasn't been very serious. You don't feel sick, or you don't feel sick at all, and other folks are laid down for a week or so. But what Kevin Aston was able to report is that the number of COVID-19 cases, while still numerous in Jackson County, are going down. He said that in the month of October, there were 117 documented cases of COVID-19. That compares to 288 cases that were confirmed in September. Now, of course, these confirmed documented cases don't account for ones that aren't confirmed or documented. So you always wonder about that as well. But it appears that the numbers are going down. That's a pretty steep decline from 288 to 117. But we know now as we speak, there's people suffering from COVID-19. And of course, the latest COVID-19 vaccine I know is available at different places, including the Jackson County Health Department. As to the new digs for the Jackson County Health Department, of course, they are currently located at 200 East Main Street in downtown Jackson. That's at the corner of East Main Street and Portsmouth Street, in a building that was built in the 70s. Well, they're about ready to move out of that to a new location on Twin Oaks Drive, roughly across from Holzer Medical Center, Jackson, in that big building there. There are other units, other businesses, agencies, organizations in that big building, that kind of like a mall-like building there. But the health department will be going into one of the larger units. Kevin did not have a date when that would happen, but it is drawing near, and he wanted to let people know that they're still working on that. It's at 102 Twin Oaks Drive is actually the address. Renovations are taking place, and they should be finished early next year. And when they get close enough to know when they're going to move in, I'm sure that more information will be put out. But at some point next year, probably the first part of the year, you can expect the Jackson County Health Department to move from its downtown building to the new location on Twin Oaks Drive.
Yeah, I would say if it's from the 70s, they're about due for an upgrade, Pete.
Right. Well, I can remember when the building was brand new. I mean, it still looks pretty nice, but, they have grown a little bit here in COVID. More money came in to help them. They have new employees, extra employees now. They're doing more things there. And I guess it was time for a move. And also, they share that building. The Jackson County Emergency Management Agency, I know, is in that building. And I believe that a 911 call center is in that building as well. All right. If you pass by on Saturday during the morning and afternoon hours, in downtown Jackson. If you pass by the Mayu Funeral Home, you saw a very moving and impressive tribute to the late Rob Cosby. And Rob died at the age of 48, and unfortunately, an unexpected death on Sunday, November the 12th. And Rob was a lineman with AEP Ohio. He worked out at Chillicothe, and on that day at the Mayu Brown Funeral Home, there is a picture of Rob. On that day at the Mayu Brown Funeral Home, during his calling hours and then during his funeral, there were two AEP Ohio lift trucks there. And between the two lift trucks, the ladders were hoisted, and right in the middle, they had a huge American flag displayed. And this was in honor of Rob Cosby. I believe we might have that picture, Dylan.
Just got to search for it.
All right. And that it was a very striking thing. I didn't know they were going to do it. I got tipped off by one of my good friends and former colleagues, Amanda Crabtree, that display was there. She didn't know why it was there. As soon as I drove over there, I knew why it was there. And it was a wonderful, there it is. It's very striking, especially with the breeze and that blue sky that day, that bright blue sky and that sunshine. But those two AP Ohio lift trucks had that flag way high, and it was a huge flag. And this picture was taken during the morning before a lot of people were congregating there, but I know there was a great turnout there. Rob Cosby was very well liked by a lot of folks, very well respected within the AP Ohio family. I remember Rob when he went to Jackson High School. He graduated in the mid-1990s. Outstanding young man. He was a tremendous football player at Jackson High School for the Ironmen. They were good then too. And he went on to West Liberty College in West Virginia, and he played on the football team there. After college, he got a job with AEP Ohio as a lineman, and he's worked his way up. And is now, at the time of his death, he was a line distribution coordinator. And certainly a lot of professional, personal, and family friends there are grieving his loss, and this was a wonderful send-off for Rob Cosby.
And it's a really beautiful sight too, just the way the flag is and the blue sky behind it. It's just a beautiful thing to look at.
It certainly was, and if you happen to be driving by, you'd certainly do a double take. So Rob, his parents are Roger and Martha Cosby, know them well too. Martha was involved in county government for quite some time, and Roger, like Martha, graduated from Jackson High School, and very well-known folks in Jackson County. All right, at the last meeting of the Vinton County Local Board of Education, they always have, and most of the school boards do this at their meetings, they highlight student success, and that's exactly what the Vinton County Local Board of Education did at their last meeting. It was held on Tuesday evening, November 14th, and Red Thompson Jr. was there. And in this case, they were honoring some athletic success. Remember, the fall sports season ended not too long ago, and honored were members of the cross-country team. They are there in this picture that you're seeing now. Right in the middle is Samuel Boyd. He is the young man in the gray shirt and the dark hair. He actually went to the state cross-country meet. His team, there is Sam Boyd on the right, getting a certificate and getting congratulated by Scarlett Newton, who is a board member and the student achievement liaison there for the Vinton County Local Board of Education. Sam was the first cross-country runner from Vinton County to make it to the state meet since 1982, a great accomplishment, and he's only a junior. But the team, the girls' team, and the boys' team both made it to the regional meet, just one step away from the state. So they were close. They made it to the regional meet. So Coach Josh Kirkpatrick, he's also the assistant principal there at Vinton County High School, very successful and well-respected cross-country coach. He had his kids there, Sam Boyd and the rest of the team there, to be congratulated by the Board of Education, Superintendent Rick Brooks, and all the school leadership team. Also at that board meeting were members of the Vinton County High School Vikings football team. And as you can see, there were quite a few of them that showed up. There on the far left is head coach T.J. Carper. And the Vikings, all they did this year, they had one of the best records and best teams, I think, in school history. The Vikings go back to 1967 when they first consolidated the schools there in Vinton County. And the Vikings this year finished 9-2 overall. They won the Tri-Valley Conference Ohio Division Championship for the first time since 2001. They won all the games. They beat Nelsonville York on the road. They were the defending champions, the Buckeyes were. That was a big win. And they racked up statistics, both scoring and on defense, that were among the best that the school had ever achieved in all the years of the football program. And that would be, quick math, 56 years of football at Vinton County High School. And this was one of the very best teams for sure, both scoring and and on defense. And that is a close-up of T.J. Carper. He was honored as the Coach of the Year in the TVC Ohio. He also was the Coach of the Year in the district. Another honor came his way. If we may talk about that just a little later. But great success there for the cross-country and football teams, and the school board made sure that they were honored.
And that's really awesome. They got both the cross-country and the football team. Like, they both had a good season, and they both got honored. That's very nice.
They did. I mean, it's one thing to have all that success during the season. That's a reward in and of itself. But then to be honored by the school leaders, to have them look at you, smile, shake their hand, give you a certificate, that is really cherry on top of the sundae. All right, this past Thursday morning, Red Thompson Jr. was up early because there was a big business story to tell about in MacArthur, to cover in MacArthur, and it was the MacArthur Family Dollar Store upgrade. Now, this building was there before. It's at 554 North Market Street, but they have upgraded to what is called an H25 classification. And what that means is it's basically a redesign of the store. It has a different look, expanded merchandise, and they celebrated this fact with a ribbon cutting on Thursday morning. This is the moment that the ribbon was cut. The gentleman in the wheelchair right in the middle is David Peoples, and he is a good customer at the store, and they wanted him to have the honor, since he's been a loyal customer, to actually snip the red ribbon, and he did. The other folks in the picture there are store employees, store management, district management for Family Dollar, and in the back row, the two gentlemen there in the dark jackets are members of the MacArthur Fire Department. On Saturday, they were still celebrating this upgrade at the MacArthur Family Dollar. The fire department was there with its equipment and trucks, and also Santa Claus even made an early appearance. So that's the MacArthur Family Dollar Store, and we'll have that story coming up in an upcoming edition. Do not forget, I know it's Monday, but later on in the week, we're going to run into one of the major holidays of the year, Thanksgiving. If you're busy, it can sneak up on you, but there'll be lots of governmental closures on Thursday and some on Friday because of the Thanksgiving holiday. Basically, everything governmental will be closed on Thursday, and it will affect operations. Garbage service and like that may be changed. We've got a list that was published in Saturday's paper. We may be able to publish it again in Wednesday's paper if there's space, but I know it's also online on our website, www.thetelegram.news.com. You can see how this affects you in your community. We've got them all listed: Colton, Jackson, Oak Hill, Wellston, Jackson and Vinton counties, the village of MacArthur, and Hamden in Vinton County. All right, we're going to get into some Christmas stuff now that's very important to talk about. And in Jackson, of course, in recent years, a group called the Jackson County Gear Grinders kind of inherited the Secret Santa program. And this year, they are transitioning to where they were working with local churches, at least two local churches, in doing the gift program. Now, those churches have not been identified, but the Gear Grinders are working with them behind the scenes to identify people in need in Jackson County, particularly in the Jackson area, I presume. It's been it's a little different because you do not directly apply. They try to figure out who you are, the churches and the Gear Grinders. The Gear Grinders, of course, have worked the program in recent years. But jumping into this to make it a little bit better, maybe expand opportunities, is a young lady who just community service is her middle name. It's Josie Rader with the Faith and Fitness of Jackson. She announced recently that she was going to work with the Gear Grinders to expand opportunities. We're going to call her the Jackson County Facilitator for the Gear Grinders program. And she is working not alone with Malway Designs, Boho Finds, Iron City Barbell, and various other Jackson businesses who will be putting tags on this year's angel trees on the Shop on First, which encompasses Daisy's Coffee Shop, Randy's Wildflower Boutique, and more. That will be the Wellston contact. Jackson Transportation has volunteered to pick up and drop off the collected gifts in Jackson. Already, 441 children are expected to be served through this project that Josie has jumped into. The deadline to sign up for charitable giving is today. That's why we wanted to make sure we squeezed it into our report today. It goes until today at 11:59 p.m. So you want to check out those stores and possibly on Facebook about how to sign up and participate in this program. Also in Wellston, kind of like on a parallel, the Wellston Fire Department is doing its Firefighters for Kids toy drive, and the application period, it's an online application program in Wellston. It's going to end this Saturday. So if you have not signed up to be serviced by the Wellston Firefighters for Kids toy drive, you have this week to get that done. Ryan Pelletier, who is the Wellston Fire Chief, talked about the program, even though it's not directly city business. He talked about it at the Wellston City Council meeting, and the need seems to be greater than ever before. Last year, they served the Wellston Firefighters for Kids toy drive served 122 families, a total of 308 children, and this is limited to the Wellston City School District. That's what they're focusing on this year. As of Thursday evening, and remember, this is still with 10 days or so on the application period, they have already signed up or received requests from 169 families. 122 all of last year, 169, and the numbers going up this year. Now, those gifts just don't pop into the Wellston firefighters' hands through giveaway. They need donations. They need donations of unwrapped toys, new toys, and they need financial donations. The financial donations are good because then they can use the money to get specific gifts, because the Wellston Fire Department tries to do this. They try to find out in the application period what the family wants as gifts for certain kids. Certain kids like certain things. If they can possibly get a kid what they really want, they will do it. So that's how the money comes in. That's why the money is nice too. If you're going to donate, you can donate all the way until December 10th, because the drop-off period is not going to be until later, closer to Christmas. So if you want to donate to this drive, and they actually need more help because of all the requests they've had, you can drop off donations of toys, unwrapped toys, or financial donations at the Wellston Fire Station number 1. That's the fire station on the north end of town, the old fire station at 200 North Pennsylvania Avenue, and you can do that until December 10th. So you have some time there to do that. And the firefighters later on will be, passing out those gifts, getting them to people closer to Christmas. Ryan wanted to let people know, because they have a charitable status tax-wise, they are a 501c3. That can be very important, because that means that if you make a financial donation, it's tax deductible. So that is another reason to do that.
It's definitely a good thing to donate towards.
Right, and these groups, in Jackson and in Wellston, and the Madison Jefferson firefighters in Oak Hill have a big Christmas auction that they do the first Saturday in December. They try to use some of the money they get from this auction for needy families in the Oak Hill area. So there's lots of well-meaning people and groups that are trying to make sure that as many kids as possible do indeed have a Merry Christmas. And that is certainly the truth. It really wows you how much support there is. Okay. The Christmas season has arrived. Now, a lot of people think maybe it starts Thanksgiving weekend, which is coming up, but it might have already started early, because last Saturday, just across the street from this building, I saw Santa Claus. I want you to show them that I really saw Santa Claus.
Let me find it.
Santa is with an elf. He was with an elf in front of Nana's house at 709 East Main Street. We're 708 East Main Street, so I was pulling in to our parking lot here, and as I looked across the street, and there he was. Thank you, Dylan. That is Santa Claus in front of Nana's house with an elf. The elf's name happens to be Kelly Cardiff. But Santa was in front of Nana's house, getting a lot of attention, of course, from the motorists. I think you could take pictures with him too. And he was also wanting to let people know that Nana's house was having a pre-Christmas open house that weekend as well. So, and you see the big inflatables there in the yard. They've got the Christmas spirit there at Nana's house, a big Christmas tree. And you see Rudolph. I don't know whether that's Rudolph. He doesn't have a red nose, but there's a big reindeer behind Nana, in front of Nana's house as well. And I took this picture to say that we're going to have lots of Christmas coverage, pre-Christmas coverage coming in the Telegram here in the next week or so. We're going to, in the next two papers, we're going to report about things that are happening soon, all these pre-Christmas celebrations that are taking place, all these ways that you can give to people who need it as well. I'm sure we won't get it all, but we'll collect as much as possible and get it in our next two papers. And then when the pre-Christmas celebrations happen this Saturday and then the next Saturday, we will be there to see Santa Claus, cover the parades, cover all the good things going on in our local communities.
I actually drove through Hamden the other day and saw some Christmas celebrations, so they're definitely gearing up.
Right, absolutely. And I know the Hamden Fire Department, my gosh, they do so much in the village of Hamden. They were out putting up Christmas lights, I think, over the weekend or here at the end of last week. All right, speaking of Christmas tree displays, you know, we gave some great publicity to what's going on with the Ohilco lights in Wellston. Right now, no trees that I know of are up in the other three communities, but it will be happening soon. The Christmas in the Park program will be going on at Manpower Park. The deadline to sign up was actually last Saturday at 6 p.m., or it will go until all the trees are sold, and I'm not sure what that situation is. If you're interested in getting a tree, if they're still available, call Barbie McCatherine. She does the Christmas in the Tree project. That number is 740-418-3826. Once again, 740-418-3826. Those trees will be lit on December the 2nd, and the trees are not in place yet, so no decoration will take place. But the deadline for signups was actually last Saturday. However, if there are still trees and places available, they're still selling trees. So you can check with Barbie there to find out if that's still available. Christmas tree registration is also going on for the Christmas in the Park project at Central Memorial Park in Oak Hill. You can do that online at the Oak Hill Historical Society website and Facebook. The deadline to sign up there is this Wednesday, November 22nd, so time is running out as well there. The trees will be put up next Saturday, and then you'll have a week to get them decorated at Central Memorial Park. In Vinton County, the Vinton County Junior Fair is doing a Christmas tree display for the second week. Their deadline, they actually extended it, was last Friday, so I suppose that is over. I've not received information about it going on. But once again, these are sponsored trees, and they'll be at the Vinton County Fairgrounds. And they will be normally, last year, they were on display throughout the month of December. I imagine that will happen again this year. All right, the W4C Memorial Tree Dedication is scheduled for November the 30th. That would be a week from next Thursday. The Warriors for Christ program do this memorial tree at their location over there on Mound Street to honor the lives of those who lost their lives to drugs and alcohol. This is a memorial tree to remember those folks and as a reminder about this danger that still is in all of our local communities. If you want to hang a weatherproof ornament in honor of a lost loved one, you can do this at any time on the memorial tree. You can also put pictures of those who passed away. You can drop those off at the W4C Jackson Hope Center or email them to the Hope Center, and they will be placed on the memorial tree during the dedication ceremony. That dedication ceremony is set for 6 p.m. on Thursday, November the 30th. You can call the Hope Center for more information. All right, before we run out of time, I want to tell you about another Christmas program. The Jackson Food Mart is offering a community-run Secret Santa program. This is separate from what Josie and the Gear Grinders are doing, but still another way to help. The Jackson Food Mart, which for years and years was Gillespie's Pizza at 111 East Main Street, at the entrance of Jackson Heights, is doing a Secret Santa program this year. Starting last Friday, if you know a child in need, the convenience store will be offering paper ornaments at the store on a number basis to fill out and place on a Christmas tree. So if you know of a child that needs Christmas, sign them up with their name on a paper ornament on the tree, and then community people. This is not up to the store; it's up to community people to come in and take one of those paper ornaments and basically adopt the kid for Christmas gifts. And you can do that. Anytime and support something for that anonymous child. There will not be names on there. It'll just be numbers. The drop-off will then be on Wednesday, December 20th. The pickup date will be Friday, December 22nd. So you can pick up one of those paper ornaments, adopt the kid, and then have several weeks to get gifts and then drop them off. And then the recipients will be in on December the 22nd to pick them up, or they'll get them to them some way. The Growing Oaks program in Oak Hill has a toy drive going on. This is part of the Oaks United Growing Oaks food program. The toy drop-off locations include the Oak Hill Public Library, the Ohio Valley Bank, Oak Hill branch, the Atomic Credit Union branch, the Dollar General store in Oak Hill. The dropped-off items should be new toys, board games, balls, watches, small electronics, personal care items, books, etc., geared towards children from birth through the 12th grade. For more information, you can call Lori Donnelly at 740-418-3304. That's 740-418-3304. Once again, that toy drive now going on in Oak Hill, in addition to what the Madison Jefferson firefighters are doing. All right, we want to tell you that the Jackson High School play was held this past weekend, and we want to thank Seth Fain of Seth Fain Photography for passing along some pictures there. He always takes some great pictures, and he helped us out on a busy weekend. Here are some scenes from that play. Of course, the play was named Puffs, and the subtitle is 7 Increasingly Eventful Years at a Certain School of Magic and Magic. And it's kind of, they couldn't say this because of copyright, but I'll say now that it's over, kind of a parody, a takeoff on Harry Potter. And here's another scene from the play. But Kathy Lord and her staff just do a great job. They get a lot of kids involved. They do fun plays, a lot of music usually involved, and they get younger kids involved too. They get great support from the community, not just in attendance, but in sponsorships as well, because it's very expensive to put on these plays, to get the costumes, the materials, the rights to be able to do them. So all the support from the community is appreciated. So once again, this was last weekend at the Jackson Middle School Auditorium. Performances on Friday and Saturday evenings, also on Sunday afternoon. We'll have some coverage and some of the pictures you just saw in Wednesday's edition of the paper. Also over the weekend, we don't have pictures yet, but we're going to get them. The Viking Players, which is the drama group at Benton County High School, they did a production called Order in the Court, a comedy, and they did it as part of a dinner theater at a big crowd on Saturday night at the Benton County High School. So we'll be having coverage on that too. Also coverage coming up in the form of pictures from the Rock for Tots concert, the Remembering 60s concert that was held on Friday evening at the Marquee. I've been in contact with John Pelletier. I haven't talked to him, but he's been in contact with me. I know they are very thankful for the great support they have from the community, good attendance there as well. It also, in addition to the music from John Jones, Craig Klein, David Leach, Ben Dave Jr., and John Pelletier, the old 60s music, the oldies, they also had a performance from the Sonic Rhythm Academy. That's the young people who are learning music through the Bart Wiseman Foundation. So we'll have coverage on that as well, too. The Jackson Area YMCA, they're going to be working on Thanksgiving, Dylan. they're going to have their Turkey Trot 5K. That will take place on Thanksgiving morning at 9 a.m. It just costs $40 to be part of that. They will take the funds and then use them to support people who want to be involved in Y programs and events but can't afford the registration fee or the dues or whatever. So the YMCA under Tim Harvey has been very inclusive. They've not wanted it to be like a country club or something that's exclusive or that people can't be part of because of money. And if you're in the Turkey Trot, that will support the YMCA. They don't call them scholarships, but they have a fund, an assistance fund that they use all year, and this will raise money for that. That is it. I do want to remind you about one other thing. The candy shop, the Jackson County Women's Club Candy Shop, that's the former Linus Club, Jackson Linus Club. They have the candy shop operating, actually opened last Monday, and there's 2 locations this year. The location in Jackson, they've always had one there, but it's in a new location, 269 Bridge Street. That is roughly across the street from the Dollar General store. And then there is a new candy shop for the first time ever in Wellston. In the old Chambers building, it is in the office of Donna Summers Realty at 1024 South Pennsylvania Avenue. I've been a candy shop customer for years and years. You won't find a bigger supply of candy than what they have. And both those locations are open Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So, Dylan, did we do enough?
I think we did.
All right. Okay. Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. And once again, check out the Telegram on Wednesday. We're going to have lots of holiday coverage. There were some nice events that went on today, by the way, about helping people in need for Thanksgiving. We'll have some stories and coverage on that as well. Regular schedule for the Telegram this week will be out on Wednesday and Saturday. Our offices, though, will be closed on Friday, so our employees can enjoy both Thanksgiving and the day off, and the day after off.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you, Dylan, for all you did to help pull things together.
Well, thanks for coming in today, Pete.
All right.
And thanks, everyone, for watching. And we'll be back Tuesday.
That's the next day, isn't it?
Yep.
All right. See you, everybody. This just in.
The Telegram News has a new website,
thetelegramnews.com.
Same dedicated coverage.
Same trustworthy news with a brand new look.
Covering Jackson and Benton counties and surrounding areas.
Locally owned and operated, thetelegramnews.com has its finger on the pulse of the community.
Stay up to date on local events, high school sports, and breaking news.
thetelegramnews.com.
Subscribe today at thetelegramnews.com.
Check it out.